bringing in William Cohen, founding partner at Puck. William, it's good to see you as always. You know the drill. When we get headlines like this, the immediate question is very interesting. What does it mean for succession at JPMorgan? What does it mean, Bill?
You know, I don't think it means a whole lot, to be honest, because I don't think Jamie Dimon really wants to go anywhere. I don't know if you watched the interview Leslie Stahl did, CBS Sunday Morning 2 days ago. He looked like a man who was very comfortable, wasn't anxious to go anywhere, wasn't giving any indication whatsoever that he had chosen a successor. Said that even when he does turn over the reins of CEO, he intends to be chairman of the board still and stick around and have influence.
That's just what a successor wants to hear.
Just what a successor wants to hear. You know, it has sort of like Bob Iger-like implications and overtones. So I don't think Jamie's going anywhere. He seems to be in good health. The company is absolutely a juggernaut. I mean, I think they're about to report something like $12 billion in fourth quarter net income, which would put them on a plus in excess of $50 billion for the year of net income. That's extraordinary. It's extraordinary.
So, but when you're looking at these situations on Wall Street, how problematic? You know, there's always a lot of talk about that they should have this succession planning.
It's the most important thing they do.
Well, so you know, is it a problem for recruiting and retention of some of their higher, Daniel Pinto leaving? And is it a problem for investors? Like Jamie Dimon, is not going to live forever. And there have been health issues in the past, relatively distant past at this point. But nonetheless, God forbid something happens. If you're an investor, is the bench enough? Is the succession enough? Are things clear?
Look, it's, as I said, it's the most important job he's got. Yes, it's very important that he, solved the bank's problems, turned the bank around from when I was there. It's, as I said, it's a juggernaut now, but he's not going to live forever. He's 68, I think. So, I mean, the board isn't probably going to want him to leave. He's incented to stay till to 2026. I'm sure they'll figure out a way to extend that, but he's got to find somebody, kind of anoint them, let them have a chance to, run a little bit without his oversight, just like James Gorman did at Morgan Stanley and Lloyd Blankfein did at Goldman Sachs. This is what Jamie needs to do. And by the way, if you get it wrong, as I wrote about in my book about GE, when Jack Welch chose Jeff Immelt, which turned out to be the wrong choice, it can have huge and grave consequences. So it's a hugely important decision. There are obviously a lot of good candidates. I assume there are good candidates inside the firm, and there are probably good candidates outside the firm. Don't forget, Jamie Dimon came from outside the firm. So, being inside the firm doesn't necessarily mean anything at this point. And I'm not sure that there's anyone inside the firm. Clearly, there's not anyone inside the firm who has the stature of Jamie Dimon. Are there people outside the firm that have the stature of Jamie Dimon? Closer, but probably, he's a unique individual at this point. So, this is essential. This is hugely important, and frankly, hasn't done a very good job about it yet.
So, Bill, so Jamie Dimon, he may be on the downslope to 70, but as you said, he looks comfortable. Bank's firing on all cylinders. But if you had to place a bet, who do you think would be next in line?
I think it's going to be somebody from the outside.
You do?
I really do. I don't think there's anybody inside the firm that with all due respect to Marianne Lake, who's sort of the leading candidate at this point, I don't think she is likely to get it.
Why, Bill?
Well, I don't, investment banking is such an important part of that firm at this point, even though Jamie has told me that, 80% of their profits are kind of locked in year in and year out, with the variable being the investment banking business. She did have a stint in investment banking, but, of course, Jamie didn't work in any of the businesses that are now central to JPMorgan Chase. He was, in the executive office working with Sandy Weil, right? So, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm not saying it's, not going to happen. But I just feel like, it's really important to get someone of stature. This is our biggest bank. It's got a market cap over $500 billion at this point. It's on its way to $1 trillion probably. And to get to that next level, you need a serious person who can lead the firm and inspire the troops and get them all continuing to paddle in the same direction.
Yeah, so not making a choice is the wrong choice, but you don't want to make the wrong choice.
And a lot of talent has left JPMorgan Chase
Right.
because Jamie has not chosen a successor.
Yeah, I want to turn to something else that involves executives, and that is next Monday in the inauguration, and all of the tech executives who are now expected to be there, including Elon Musk, obviously. I mean, he's practically living.
He lives in Mar-a-Lago at the moment.
You know, you've got Mark Zuckerberg, you've got Jeff Bezos. What do you make of this sort of shift that we have seen in corporate America?
Yeah, it's pretty ugly to watch. It's not surprising because, you know, these guys have to genuflect in the direction of power because they're sort of in the crosshairs of government, potential antitrust lawsuits. You know, if they want to do deals, they have to be on the right side of these individuals. And, you know, the winds have changed considerably. You know, I'm sure many of them thought that Donald Trump would never return to the White House. And it was okay to be critical of him, you know, on the way out.
Well, but Bill, if I may, I mean,
Yes.
how much of this is, you know, I think you could view it crassly. I mean, Zuckerberg has sort of framed it as this is his true self. This is what he actually thinks. And he was being political before, but now this is really, I mean, Elon Musk, it seems clear that ideologically he is aligned. So
I think they're just doing what is politically expedient for them and for their companies. I don't think this is who Mark Zuckerberg really is. You know, maybe it's who he pretends to be. I mean, you know, Elon Musk was a Democrat once. Now he's this like right-wing, you know, lunatic. You know, so I think they're, you know, to get along, to go along, you know, to get along, you have to go along. And I think that's what they're doing at this point. And it's expedient for them. It's expedient for their companies. You know, it doesn't make them look good. They're not showing much spine or backbone, and it may backfire. He may, you know, choose to go after them regardless of the fact that they're sucking up to him mercilessly at this point.
His relationship with big tech is kind of complicated, Bill, because sometimes he says nice things, but a lot of times he doesn't. I mean, do you think this parade of American tech execs going down there, whether it's Bezos or Zuck, Musk, do you think they can not just curry favor, but also do you think there's a possibility they can change his mind, soften his opinion when it comes to big American tech, or no?
I think Donald Trump is going to do what Donald Trump wants to do at whatever particular moment he's presented with a decision. Right? You know, he said what, a couple of weeks ago, you know, nobody liked me in the first term. Now everybody likes me. Everybody wants to be around me. I mean, his ego apparently is so fragile that he's looking for, you know, support from these people. I'm sure he's loving it.
Well, he might be just as, maybe he's just as surprised, but like, I can't believe what's going on today, this parade that comes to see me versus what was going on in 2016,
well,
2017.
I'm sure he is quite surprised by it. But, you know, in the end, he's going to do whatever he feels he wants to do, regardless of whether, you know, they've been genuflecting in his direction for, you know, a few weeks.
we'll see what happens. Bill, it's great to see you. Thanks for coming in.
My pleasure. Thank you.